All right, dude, I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think artists put certain things in their song just to garner attention?
What, do you mean like...
I hope that's not on.
Hello and welcome once again to the Darkened Room of Music Conversation. I'm Chris.
And I'm Darren, and tonight we're going to be going through the history of controversial songs. This is something that's been happening since the beginning of pop music, probably since the beginning when Elvis Presley shook his hips for the first time.
Exactly right.
So
now, if you're sensitive to certain types of content, you may not want to watch this episode. So there's going to be some subjects brought up naturally that goes along with the controversial song subject that you may not necessarily want to hear. So turn the video off now and come back to the next one.
All right, so we compiled a list, and by no means it's not totally complete. I'm sure you're going to think of things that we forgot about and stuff like that. But we're just going to kind of go through the years and talk about a few songs that I remember, that you remember, that out there you probably remember were controversial moments, controversial songs that made the press.
Yeah, kind of got things stirred up, yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to go back all the way to 1975. This is the first song that I remember hearing some controversy about.
Yeah.
And I actually love this artist. I thought she was...
Me too, yeah.
I thought she was completely beautiful. She's no longer with us. Donna Summer. Love to Love You, Baby. And would you like to imitate what happens in the middle of that song? Okay, that's enough. You're making me feel very uncomfortable right now.
Well, that was the idea.
That was the idea, exactly. That's why it caused so much controversy. And if that wasn't enough, some record executive decided to let's make the song 17 minutes long, and so they did. So it was a really, really bizarre moment in pop history, but it did garner a lot of attention back then. And that was probably the first song that I remember in my lifetime that people were like, oh my God, did you hear that? All right, so moving along, Ozzy Osbourne, 1980.
Yeah.
Suicide Solution. This is a song that traditionally has been brought up when people get on these anti-heavy metal rants and the church and preachers and all that stuff. This is one of the first songs that they bring up. And according to them, it actually made people want to commit suicide or encourage suicide. That really wasn't the meaning of the song, but at any rate, that was kind of how people took it. No doubt a very controversial song.
Yeah, I remember heavy metal getting a lot of heat back in the early 80s, and it reminds me now of the heat that rap music is getting. It's kind of the same thing.
It really is.
It's just a song, people.
Right. So, and I always, not to get off topic here, but I kind of always felt that, heavy metal music was for kind of the white suburban kids that wanted to rebel.
Right.
And obviously, the inner city and urban kids, gravitated towards rap. So I kind of think that there was a parallel there as far as culture was concerned. And now, we're more intertwined and stuff, which is beautiful. I love it.
Yes.
All right. So moving right along, 1984 brings us to Prince and Darlin' Nikki off of the Purple Rain soundtrack.
And this opened a whole other can of worms.
It sure did, because not long after that, we had a name that really was synonymous with this whole the censorship movement and anti-censorship movement.
Yeah.
Because you had people on both sides.
Yep.
And she came along and decided that music should have a warning label, similar to the movie rating system.
Right.
And
talking about Tipper Gore, of course.
Tipper Gore, which was Al Gore's wife at the time,
right?
Who eventually ran for president from Tennessee.
Yep.
And but yeah, she was pushing for a label system, and very similar to the movies, because her point was that parents don't have time to listen to this stuff.
Right.
So why can't they have the option just to look at the album? Ooh, this has dirty words. I don't want my child listening to this.
Right.
In her defense, at the time I was kind of on the artist side and all that. In her defense, she kind of backed off once she got what she wanted. So I'll give her credit for that.
That's very true, yes.
Yeah, and I really personally didn't see the big deal about it too much. Even at the time, I was a little kid, or a young kid. And but
yeah, the artist community was very, very much against it because they almost saw it as an attempt of censorship.
Yeah,
and they were really trying to make that not happen.
Exactly.
Thankfully, that's not what happened.
And they felt it was a slippery slope. You know,
yes.
We give her an inch and she'll want 10,000 miles, that sort of thing. However, and I think it's kind of fun to look back in retrospect. She did compile a list, which was called the what was it called? The Filthy 15.
The Filthy 15.
All right, now check these songs out on this list. Some of them make me chuckle. All right, of course, Prince, the aforementioned Darlin' Nikki. You can listen to that song, and it's pretty obvious what it's about.
Yep.
Sheena Easton, Sugar Walls. Now, Sheena Easton, oh man, did I love me some Sheena Easton.
Yeah.
I think she is one of the most beautiful, cutest ladies who ever lived. And that song, man, was...
That song, yeah. My wife, Stephanie, tells the story of when she actually bought that cassette. I believe she bought it, or the single or something.
Yeah.
She was listening to it, and her dad comes in, takes it out, sits her down in a chair across from him, and he's like, "Do you know what sugar walls are?"
And you know, I'll have to look this up. But didn't Prince write that song?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think he did, or he was involved.
He definitely had a big hand in Sheena Easton's career at that time,
and he had his hand in Sheena Easton. But anyway. God. All right, let me see what this is.
We warned you.
All right, another song that made the Filthy 15 was Vanity, and man, these are some of my dream women here.
Yeah,
I think there's a correlation.
Might be.
Maybe it was working. Maybe she was onto something here.
Yeah.
Vanity, Strap On, Robbie Baby. Probably the least we say about that, the less we say, the better.
Yes.
All right, and Motley Crue, Bastard. So there you go. A filthy song. AC/DC, Let Me Put My Love Into You. Okay. Nothing like being subtle.
Nope.
Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It. I don't have any idea why that's on the list. I really don't.
I think it was just because it was rebellious.
Yeah.
Rebellious youth fighting against parents.
Yeah, but maybe in the video kind of, enhanced that whole concept. So
right.
Probably true. Madonna, Dress You Up. I have no idea why that song is on this list. I really don't. And I love that song, by the way. Wasp, or Warsp, how some people say it. Animal, F Like a Beast. Probably should have made the list. That's one that I probably would have put on there if I was in charge of this. Def Leppard, High and Dry, Saturday Night. I guess it had drug and alcohol use. Oh Lord, yeah. How can we? Merciful Fate, Into the Coven. Is that how you say that?
Coven.
Okay, thank you. I can barely see it. We're in a darkened room here. I can't see.
That's right.
I can't read.
Yes.
Black Sabbath, Trash. I love that song, actually.
Yeah.
That's from the only album, by the way, that Ian Gillan did the lead vocals. They got the Deep Purple singer for one album, and that was it. And I love that song.
Yeah.
And it says, the bitch was trashed. Yeah, so.
There you go.
Mary Jane, Girls in My House. Once again, some lovely women. And Venom, Possessed. Kind of one of those devil. I love the devil heavy metal songs,
right?
And Cyndi Lauper, She Bop, which we know what that's about.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So that was your Filthy 15, compiled by Tipper Gore. They said that she was all alone in the dark when she compiled this list. All right, so. Wonder if there's video of that.
There might be. I don't know if I want to see it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that was the songs that were making waves with controversy back in, I guess, 84, 85. And I do remember they had a big Senate hearing about this, and Dee Snider testified. It was a big moment, and he did very well.
Yes, he did.
Handled himself very well. And I believe he also, in retrospect, has actually given Tipper a little credit. She got what she wanted. She backed off. It wasn't so bad.
Yep. But that is why now you see on releases explicit content, parental advisory, that little sticker. That's why it's there.
Exactly. You can thank Tipper Gore for that.
That's right.
All right. So moving right along, by 1987, you had George Michael, I Want Your Sex. Not the most subtle title in the world.
I remember that video came on and my mom banned my little brother from watching MTV ever again.
Is that right?
I remember that, yes.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah.
All right. N.w.a. F the Police. We know what that's all about.
Yeah.
And that was from 1988. 1988 also brought the lovely Me So Horny by Two Live Crew.
Yep.
And that was a big moment in all of this.
Yes, it was. It garnered a lot of attention to rap music.
Yep.
And I believe it's, very responsible for its popularity coming in the 90s.
Yeah. And I've heard that whole album. Me So Horny is nothing compared to most of that album, let me just say.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were kind of the leaders of this whole movement or the face of this whole thing. When you thought of music that's out of control and needs to be censored and stuff, Two Live Crew was the first thing that people would bring up in the discussion.
It's funny to me, too, how, I Want Your Sex and the n.w.a. Two Live Crew, the controversy just made certain genres even bigger.
They did. It backfired.
With the George Michael, watch videos today by, rap and hip-hop artists. I mean, it's way beyond what that video was about.
This is true.
And, of course, just kind of made it more acceptable to have videos like that. And then, of course, the rap as well. It's like all the backlash only worked against the people who are railing against it.
Yeah, that is so true, man. Yeah. And that throughout history has been the case, by the way.
Yes, it has.
Controversy sells.
Yep.
All right, 1989 also brought us Guns N' Roses from their EP Lies and the song One in a Million. Axl used some potty words and used some not so PC words in that song.
Yes, he did.
And took a little heat for it. I remember it was a big deal in heavy metal circles at the time. And he really, I'll give him this, he didn't really back away from it.
That's true.
And it really hasn't caused him that much collateral damage, even in the rearview mirror. People never bring it up anymore. So whatever. If it happened today, it would be a lot bigger deal.
Yeah.
In 1992, right at the height of the grunge movement, when it was really happening big time, Stone Temple Pilots released Sex Type Thing, which was basically, about a man telling a woman she's going to be in her place and I'm going to do exactly what I want to do to you and there's nothing you can do about it or say about it. And by the way, they weren't singing it from their own point of view.
Right, yeah. I remember hearing Scott interviewed about it. It's like, this is more of going into the mind of this person
that thinks this way.
Yeah, and just seeing how dark and depraved it is. It's not promoting this action whatsoever.
Right, which, brings us to another point. I've always compared music to like actors. So just because you're singing about a topic or that doesn't mean that's how your point of view is.
Exactly right.
And I hate it when people, for some reason, when it comes to music, they want to attach that to the person.
Right.
And I think it's exactly the same as playing a role in a movie.
Yep.
All right, so moving right along, Body Count, probably the most controversial song of all time. Cop Killer from 1992. This thing was like wall-to-wall controversy. You saw it all over the mainstream news. People were interviewed. I think the president, Bush 40, what number? 41. Bush 41.
Bush 41, yeah.
And also Dan Quayle, they were asked about it and commenting on it. I mean, Ice-T was all over the place. And Body Count, by the way, was a heavy metal kind of punk band that Ice-T had on the side. I thought it was a really cool record.
Yeah.
And they toured with like Megadeth and a lot of stuff, a lot of bands like that.
This was a controversy, kind of unlike the others. It actually got the album completely pulled from record shelves.
Yes. And eventually they reissued the album minus that song.
Yeah.
And put a song called Freedom of Speech on there as kind of a revolt.
Yes.
Or a response to being censored.
A counter-argument.
There you go. Exactly. 1995, moving along through the 90s, Matchbox 20, Push. A lot of people thought that was once again a song about a guy abusing his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And what he was basically saying was he was pushing her around mentally.
Right.
Not physically.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time he was having to explain that a lot.
A whole lot. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
All right. And what do we have next on the list there?
Prodigy, Smack My Bitch Up. I think the controversy in this derived more from the video than it did the actual lyrical content.
The video was rough, man.
It was rough, yeah.
It was.
It was rough, but, if you've never seen the video, go watch it, because I don't want to give away the ending or anything.
Right.
You probably have to go to Vivo to find that, because you can't see it on YouTube, because the ending would be censored, and the ending was what the video is kind of all about. Ties it all together, yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, big controversy with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in 2001, of course, Eminem, another name synonymous with controversy, had the song Stan.
Yeah. The whole entire album actually was a big controversy, beginning to end. I mean, there wasn't a second that went by that album that wasn't controversial. But Stan, of course, was a single, and it got, probably more attention than the others. And, of course, it was about a guy that was obsessing over Eminem, writing him letters and thinking that, he was being ignored.
Right.
Winds up going crazy, puts his girlfriend in the trunk, drives the car off of a bridge into the water.
Right.
Yeah, that stirred up quite the controversy.
And you kind of got the feeling at the time that Eminem kind of knew what he was doing. He was pushing these buttons and picking on people that he felt deserved it. And,
exactly right.
And understanding all too well that controversy sells.
That's right.
And I think
God did it.
It really did.
Was that the best-selling album that year?
Man, it had to be.
Yeah.
It had to be. It was very intense. And we were in music retail at the time.
We were, yeah.
We sold a lot of copies of it.
A whole lot.
All right. And Robin Thicke, we're going on into the 2000s, now 2010s, from 2014, Blurred Lines. Yeah. And I like the song. I never really analyzed it that much. But I guess it's a guy that's basically saying he's going to do what he wants with his girl and
kind of, yeah,
turn her out.
It kind of had that, that abusive kind of overtones to it. There was a lot of backlash on it. And then the video, of course, had a lot of nudity in it. Right. And so, yeah, there was I remember that controversy quite well in 2014. It was just 6 years ago.
Yeah. And finally, a song that just recently hit the charts, #1, in fact.
Yeah.
And, we don't do a lot of trashing of music and artists on this channel.
No, we try not to.
We try not to do that.
Yeah.
So, n.w.a, Cardi B, if you want to read all about it, be my guest. I've heard the song one time. That's all I ever need to hear it.
I've heard clips of it, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted to hear. Quite honestly.
It's not my thing, but that's fine. I'm not a big fan of censorship. If you want to listen to something like that, then be my guest. But
if you really though study the lyrics and listen to it, it should be more of a a song.
Yeah.
It is quite hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It's entertaining.
Okay. So that's a quick list that we came up with just through the years, songs that were very controversial and made news headlines, for crying out loud. Another one I forgot was that song E Mine. It was called F It, I Don't Want You Back. It was like #1 in like 12 countries and the top 10 in the USA.
For some reason, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, if you heard it, you would remember it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a humongous song at the time. But these are all songs that made waves throughout the mainstream for being controversial. So I'm sure there's ones that we left out that you thought of instantly. So let us know what they are. List them in the comment section. We'd like to read what
absolutely, and hopefully we didn't make you blush tonight. So
thanks for watching this episode of In a Darkened Room. You can find the link to this episode's companion Spotify playlist in the description. Darren and Chris welcome your comments. You can leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Follow In a Darkened Room on Twitter to receive updates and submit your ideas for what we should discuss in upcoming episodes. Darren and Chris are also on Instagram, so give them a follow there as well. All of these links can be found in the description below. While you're there, be sure to click subscribe and ring the bell.
All right then. Well, it's random topic time, and what do you say we do the shuffle play on Spotify?
Let it roll.
All right, so hit shuffle here, and we have Wild Horses by the Sundays.
Oh, wow. I haven't thought of that song in a long time.
I love this song.
I do too. Of course, it's the cover of the Rolling Stones song, but it's not a cover of the Rolling Stones.
Not Dr. Hook.
Not Dr. Hook.
Yeah.
But I think it's a marvelous song, and it is right there in the Lilith Fair era. Nice and smooth, and I love her voice. I don't even know the singer's name, but
yeah, this is almost a definitive version of this song.
I agree.
The Rolling Stones version's good,
very good,
but this one just took it to the next level.
Yeah, and when you're in the mood, or when it hits you in the right mood, it's just amazing.
Absolutely, it was used in that movie too. I think Donnie Wahlberg was in it.
Yes,
and Reese Witherspoon.
Yep.
What was the name of that movie?
Man, you really tested me here. It's a good thing
We'll flash at the bottom of the
It's
screen.
a good thing we don't do movie trivia. I would be in trouble.
That's not what this is about. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you
We'll be back again real soon with another episode.
Hope you enjoyed that. We enjoyed this episode. This was fun.
I thought it was awesome. So take care, guys.
All right.
What, you mean like
No, I meant like hot dog bun.
I wasn't expecting that. It just caught me off guard.
So stupid. Oh, man.